The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of W33BY, its affiliates, management, or sponsors. You're watching W33BY, Detroit, Highland Park, Michigan.
Wayne County Community College is a beacon of hope for so many people who can see the impact it's made, and that we're celebrating the 50th anniversary and all the good that it's done.
It has been the pathway for so many to obtain a higher education.
Congratulations to Wayne County Community College for 50 years of service to Detroit, Wayne County, and all of Southeast Michigan.
Making education much more available and affordable. 50th year is just the beginning of the first century.
Watch WHPR and TV33 when you want, where you want, how you want. WHPR is now in your pocket. Download our free app by going to the App Store or Google Play and enter WHPR TV in the search engine. And there we are. You can download WHPR TV or radio. You heard about it. Now come be a part of it. Roku, Detroit, worldwide. Approximately 8 million viewers.
Water crisis in Flint. Detroit wants to hear from you. Broadcasting live on Comcast Channel 90 in Flint and Comcast 91 in Detroit. We've heard from the governor.
Government failed you by breaking the trust you placed in us.
Mayor, city council, state representatives, and others. Residents of Flint, we want to hear from you, the people. Let your voice be heard. Please notify family and friends. We can be seen online at TV33WHPR.com, on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Comcast Channel 90 in Flint, or download our free app, TV33. Flint residents, we want you to call us. Phone lines open from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m., Monday through Friday. Residents of Flint, we are waiting to hear from you. Call 313-868-4336. Water crisis in Flint. Detroit wants to hear from you. WHPR TV Detroit, a division of Watkins Broadcasting. Simpson's Record Shop, serving Metro Detroit for 49 years in the same neighborhood at 2961 East McNichols Road and Joseph Campbell Street. We specialize in music, gospel, R&B, blues, jazz, and rap. We also carry music accessories, record player needles, and quite a selection of snacks and old school candy. We're good at finding out-of-print items. For more information, call 313-891-2400. Simpson's Record Shop. We're here to serve you.
You're watching Detroit's own WHPR TV. Detroit Live.
Hi, I'm Dwayne Boyd, and I want to speak to you about Operation Congo Medical Supply Relief, a maternal health care crisis in the heart of Africa. Right now, in the Congo, women and children are at risk of dying from lack of adequate maternal health care services. Reverend Jim Holley and World Medical Relief Services are working together to provide surplus medical supplies and equipment to a Rescue Charity Foundation in the Congo. With your support, together we can act to save the lives of women and children of the Congo who are at risk due to lack of adequate maternal health care services. To help facilitate this medical shipment, please go to www.operationcongo.org or call 240-551-7133. We must reject a world where women and children continue to die from lack of access to available maternal health care services. To support this effort, go to www.operationcongo.org or call 240-551-7133.
You're watching W33BY, Detroit, Highland Park, Michigan.
We've got jobs that need skills in areas like healthcare.
Jumpstart your healthcare career at Wayne County Community College District.
We are moving towards the career technical education field in the areas of allied health, health sciences.
Outstanding health science programs in nursing, surgical technology, dental hygiene, and emergency medical technology.
It's been an amazing program. It's a state-of-the-art facility
with over 200 degrees and accredited certifications.
Visit wccd.edu. Register today.
When you're having a heart attack, this is how it feels to your heart. And if it happens at night or on the weekend, there's only one hospital team standing by on site to save you. Cardio Team 1 at the DMC. Not on call, but on site, 24/7, 365. Cutting heart attack response time to half the national standard. Cardio Team 1, now at the new DMC Heart Hospital opening this summer. The beat goes on.
Women, married or single, if you are sexually active, you need to be tested for HIV/AIDS right now. If you are considering engaging in protected or unprotected sexual behavior with a new partner, get tested and insist that he is tested as well. Women get tested, especially if you are pregnant or considering childbirth. Information concerning HIV/AIDS programs, call 313-876-0548.
The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of W33BY, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
I will say a little prayer for you, and I will always care for you. Hello, Detroit.
to you. Jim Holley with you on this Saturday morning. We thank God for each and every one of you. And so there's a little bit after 10 o'clock, working its way to about 10 after 8 is what I'm trying to say. And just want you to know we're very happy to be with you here on this Saturday morning. 14 days in the month of May. Of course, the year is still the same, 2016. And once again, we thank you so much and thank you for joining us on this day. It's going to be a wet Saturday. That's what we call it, a wet Saturday. It kind of rained all through the night, and certainly going to be scattered showers throughout the day. And so that's where it's going to be. It's 54 degrees is the high today, and it's a chilly 54 degrees. You know, it's like 6 to 10 degrees below the norm for this time of the year. But, you know, it's Michigan, you know what I mean? But, again, we just take it one day at a time. And, of course, every day above ground is a good day. And so we just want to say thank you so much for being with us on this Saturday morning. As always, we want to thank you for your support of WHPR. As I always say to you, I know I sound like a broken record every Saturday morning, but it is true. People don't have to be nice, and when they are, at least you can do is say thank you. And so we want to always let you know how grateful we are, your support here at WHPR. We're doing this. We've been on the air for about 20-some years now, and, of course, with Mr. Watkins and certainly Mr. Tyler, we offer our congratulations for certainly down through the years. You've always seen a string of improvement, and it's all because of you. And so once again, we just want you to know we're very grateful, and also grateful for your support of Hello Detroit. And so we just want to say thank you so much. And those who are listening by way of internet, we want you to know indeed the area code is 313. The numbers are 868-0342, 868-0351, and 868-4336. Those are the numbers, and that you can give us a call. If this is your first time listening to Hello Detroit, it is a live talk show. And certainly we want you to know indeed that you're welcome to call those numbers that's on your television screen. And also want to make sure that you're brief. Normally we have a flood of calls coming in, and we are very grateful and want to try to get to each and every one. So we'd like you to be at least 2 to 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes in terms of your comment, and that we might be able to reach others as well. So once again, we thank God for you. As I indicated to you, it's right now about 48 degrees on both sides of the street. Again, the high today will be 54 to certainly tomorrow about 52 degrees on Sunday. Sunday, 52 degrees. But again, like I said before, we got a lot to be thankful for, and certainly my sisters and brothers, we want to make sure that we are indeed do just that. For this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Got a wonderful program for you this morning. The first thing we're going to do basically is to bring a new business to you, and certainly want hopefully that you will support it. We will bring the business with the owners of this new restaurant in Ferndale. And then later on in the second period, we want to talk a little bit more about the school system here in the city of Detroit, and the judge is over it. And then also we want to also talk about, again, the crime wave that's going out through urban America, especially in Chicago. And we'll also give you the update in terms of what's happening and in terms of homicide here in the city of Detroit. So we got a busy morning this morning, and once again we thank you so much for being with us, and we do say hello to Detroit. It's 14 minutes after the hour, and I'd like to introduce to you a couple of good friends of mine, and that is Tony and Lisa. Lisa to my left, obviously my immediate left, and the far left is, of course, this Tony. And I just want to thank you both for being with me this morning. Thank you for having us. Well, you know, I want you to know that I know Tony from a number of projects that he's been involved in, especially the heart hospital in DMC and down in the New Center area. But he's got a new restaurant that he and Lisa, and we want to talk to them about it. And once again, Lisa, welcome to our program, Hello Detroit.
Hello Detroit. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
And welcome back, Tony, as well.
Exactly, Reverend Holley.
Of course, Tony and Lisa are the proud owners of a brand new restaurant in Ferndale. It's called Southern Bells Bistro. Is that right?
Correct.
And I want to talk to them about it. I had a chance to go. I wanted to make sure before they got here, I had a chance to go and basically to experience the Southern Bells Bistro. It's a soul food restaurant. And of course, you know, you talk about soul food. Every other restaurant in Detroit is soul food, and so you kind of realize what's the difference between this one and that one and that one and this one. But you know, I really had a wonderful experience there at Southern Bells, and so let's talk to you about this, Lisa. What brought this about?
One day we were talking about it, and my family, or I come from a family of cooks, so we decided, you know, we can do that. And then I talked to Tony, and we put our heads together, and we worked it out. We made it work.
Yeah. And so, how long has this been? It's been in the formation.
Plans for about a year and a half.
Well, that's a good timing. Yeah, that's good timing.
Yeah.
I must admit, Lisa, before I get to Tony, before I get to the food, the ambience. I think a restaurant should have, you know, an atmosphere that you really feel comfortable eating and enjoying, and the decoration and all. But I really felt like it was. I love the way it's laid out. I really do.
And that's one of the things we really focused on.
Yeah.
We wanted people to feel comfortable at home, as if they're at home, and that was our main focus.
Yeah.
And with great tasting food.
Yeah. Well, the food is definitely that. That's definitely that. Tony, thank you for being with us again. And of course, I know a couple of years ago you were talking about a restaurant. It's always sort of in your sort of your DNA that you wanted to have a restaurant, and so so now you brought it to fruition and got a wonderful partner that's a cook and a partner with you on this. But how you feel about it?
I feel good. We put a lot. It took us about a year to do it. When we first developed the concept, I was kind of disappointed because around the area there's most of the soul food places are kind of hole in the wall. You kind of walk in there and it's kind of like a little chow line.
I got you.
And we wanted to create something that had the ambiance. So the idea was to kind of take Cracker Barrel and kind of the soul food restaurant and kind of jam them together in one, to give it a flair where you can sit down and see little trinkets on the wall, but then you can sit down and feel comfortable and have a jazzy feel.
Yeah.
Even our logo, the lady, you can see on our shirts there, but even the lady, we went down to detail on that to give her a jazzy feel.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. And Tony, back to you again. In terms of this particular restaurant, you know, again, when you talk about soul food, you know, and obviously, you know, and I love soul food. I mean, I love soul food, and of course, so what when you try to put something together and you want people to feel like this is different from that one's from this one, what is it about Southern Bells that you feel like is different?
Well, one, you can come in, you can sit down. There's only a couple of places around here where you can actually go and sit down and eat soul food, beans and cornbread, and then a Southern Bistro. Right. Our place, I mean, and those are good restaurants also. Our place, we don't make soul food into high-end delicatessen. So, you know, we're not trying to compete at the high-end market. We try to make it more family orientated.
Gotcha.
And that's kind of what we were aiming for, to not make it so high-end that people felt uncomfortable, but not make it so low-end that people felt, you know, turned off.
I got you. And that brings me to Lisa, because again, you being the chef as well, owner and chef, and of course, again, like I said, the food is good. I mean, it's really good. And obviously, I've only been there one time, and hopefully, when I see it this weekend, that because I think the thing, of course, about food is you want to be consistent. So if I have the yams, you know, last week, will they be tasting the same way next week? If I have the chicken and the chitlins and all that last week, will it be the same? How do you keep that consistent?
Only I season the food.
Okay.
I don't allow anyone else to do that.
I got you.
It's important that I do it.
I got you.
I want it to taste a certain way, that down home cooking, and only I. Just
So you basically you I guess that is it then. If you're really talking about consistency, you got to make sure that your the ingredients that you have in it is got to be consistent, and you can't trust it to other people.
Exactly.
You basically, especially if you're
and that's
in
most
this
important
business.
to me. It's
Yeah.
most important to me that
Yeah.
it tastes great, and it's what you're used to getting.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this though, Lisa, because there's I mean, the menu, when I look at the menu, it look like it's about at least 50 or 60 items on the menu. I'm not quite sure if that's right, but that's when I looked at it. Is how do you keep that and keep it fresh if you got that many items on the menu?
Well, everything is made fresh every morning.
Okay.
It's just basically a different combination of things. It's just reworded, like with different meats and with the different size. We just reword it, and then we do specials and stuff like that. So a lot of that's reworded.
I got you. I got you. How do you guys meet? I mean, this is because I mean, obviously she's good at what she does, Tony. And then you got to be a good cook and have a good business head at the same time. I mean, you got to be very fortunate in this.
Yeah, man. I met her at she used to work at Mookie's, which is another soul food place in the area. And I met her at a get-together, and we started talking, and then we kind of kept in contact, and I went up to Mookie's, and I ate there a few times. And then I was thinking about we should do a restaurant, so I started kind of looking around the area. We picked Ferndale because it's it has a good restaurant market,
right?
And so and it's close, it's
to
close
Detroit.
off of we're close to Detroit, so that's why we went with Ferndale. We also do breakfast too, so we a lot of items you've seen with breakfast also.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
So it is lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All as well. And of course, if you're just joining us this morning, we're talking to Lisa and we're talking to Tony. They both are the owners of a new restaurant in Ferndale called Southern Bells Bistro. And we're talking there. We'll give you the address, as you might want to get the telephone number, the address, and that kind of information. We want to give that to you so you can be very supportive. And again, my sisters, brothers, I want you to understand that we just not doing this just to be doing it. I want you to let us be supportive of them, and because it's deserving. Because I'm telling you, the food is good. Lisa, back to you then. In terms of as Tony indicated, you got breakfast, you got lunch, and you have dinner there as well. But one of the things that I really thought, and I don't think because you didn't know I was coming. And so, I don't think this was a show, kind of a show thing. But this is consistent because the service is always important.
Yes, it is.
The food is obviously you're there for the food, but if you before the person gets the food to you, that you gotta there's somebody between the chef and the table when you get the food. And so the service has got it. So because I felt like that it was really genuine people service and the workers and so forth. So is that part of the idea of making sure this works?
That is definitely the idea.
Yeah.
That is definitely the idea.
Tell me how important it is.
It's very important because that customer is number one.
I got you.
That customer is always number one, and they always come first.
Right.
And we always want them to feel at home. And I have the girls, the waitresses. That's their main focus.
Gotcha.
Make sure they're taken care of. Make sure they feel comfortable, and welcome them back at all times.
Yeah,
it's so important.
Yeah, that's great. And I'm assuming Tony, that's this complimentary in terms of what Lisa's saying in terms of the whole idea of putting this thing together. Its service is number one.
Oh yeah, definitely. When we came up with the idea, a large part of the idea was, and you know me and you know each other. I've always, I was born and raised in Detroit. I've always, I'm not ashamed of who I am or what I am or where I come from, but I've always felt like when it comes down to, restaurants, or when it comes down to, our people servicing our people, we tend to seem like we kind of, shortchange for whatever. I don't know what the reason is, but that's why the restaurant was made with the ambiance and the waitresses and waiters are told that you have to be respectful, be there. We focus on that.
That's good.
Because everybody deserves, if you're spending your money, I don't care if you make, $400,000 or if you make, $40. You're spending your money. You deserve to be treated with a level of respect and integrity, and that's what we aim for.
Yeah. Let me get back to you, Lisa, because you're the cook too as well. But tell me, give the people a sense of, because I can order from the menu, but also I have food there on, what do you call it?
Buffet style.
Buffet style.
Yes.
So I can see it.
You
I
can
can
see
see what I,
and
you can what you're eating, and you can, and so. It's just not all buffet, but it's also buffet, and you can order from the menu.
Sir.
Okay.
Yes.
What is it? Give me the what brought that on? Either normally you go one or the other, but here you got a choice.
Well, we were thinking if we had why don't we just do both? Throw it together, the buffet, the fast track line, and the sit down ambiance. Let's try and figure out a way to do it together. Put all that in one, and make it work. And we managed to do that.
Yeah. Now, one of the things, Tony, that I really like, which is I shouldn't, and that is the dessert line, the dessert cabinet. I mean, you had some desserts there. Now, does Lisa make the desserts as well?
Actually, her mother, who is there right now, actually makes the desserts. They're all homemade desserts: the banana puddings, the peach cobblers, the pies, the cakes, and they're all good. And people sit usually where you sat at, and they just Google at the know.
I think I saw like a pineapple coconut cake, something like that, and I mean it was what I guess Lisa, it was like. Homemade, yes, but also some original kind of things that that Mama evidently does as well.
Yes,
huh?
yes.
And so Mama's in the kitchen as well.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. I need her help.
And of course, I met your mother. She's out there making sure that that all the waitresses and so forth. Making sure everything is good on the front end.
Yeah, we have some.
It's a family thing.
It's a family thing, but we have family there, and I even told my own mama. Mama ends at the door.
Okay.
And I told her in respect to her kids, I'm like, Mama ends at the door. When you walk in here, you're manager. I told my mother, when you walk in here, you're hostess. She didn't like that,
but but the ching, she understands.
She understands now.
That's good. Carl, do you have a question or comment for them? Good morning.
Good morning, Reverend Holley, and your guest.
Thank you.
My question is the location of the restaurant, and is your breakfast a buffet?
Very good. Thank you for that. You get that? He wants to know is the restaurant. We're gonna give him the location, but is the buffet the breakfast is buffet?
Yes.
Or you can order on the
or you can order. Yes.
Or you can order on the menu. So it's both. You can have ordered on the menu, and it's also buffet. And of course, I think it's about time to give them the address and the information how to get there. I mean, it's I really obviously I'm partial to Detroit, that's for sure. But it's right on the border, so to speak, because you got on Woodward Avenue, and it's north of 9 Mile, and so you get the best of both worlds. But I think what you indicated, Tony, was it also is that Ferndale, that community is coming alive, and it's coming in terms of restaurants and those kind of the whole atmosphere is just basically is really
Ferndale, like Royal Oak, had a revolution probably maybe like 20 years ago, and they became a hot spot. And Birmingham, now that whole process is happening with Ferndale, and it is really, you got comedy clubs, you got restaurants. It's really a strong atmosphere, and it's not very expensive like Royal Oak and Birmingham are tend to be more expensive. But Ferndale is still very affordable. And a lot of people like coming there at nighttime.
What's the address?
The address is 22939 Woodward Avenue.
Okay.
And like I said, it's just north of 9 Mile.
It's on the west side of Woodward.
Yes.
You can't miss it.
A lot of people in the Detroit area remember the hair place right next to it.
Farrell's.
Yeah, it used to be called Virginia Farrell's. It has another name now, but it's been there for years, and we are literally right next door to that.
But Virginia's not on there, but Farrell is.
Yeah.
Because that's how I found it. It's right next to the red. What used to be the hair school.
Hair school.
Hair
It's
school,
still a
yes.
hair school.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right next door. And address again is what now?
22939 Woodward Avenue.
Right there, and north of 9
9
Mile.
Mile, yep.
And the telephone number, Lisa?
It's 248-607-3788.
Okay, what is it again?
248-607-3788.
And of course, the name of it is
Southern Bells Bistro.
Bistro.
And you can't call in orders, so a lot.
That's
I
what I
know.
was gonna ask
Yeah,
you,
a
yeah.
lot of folks like to call in orders.
And so you can do just that.
Yes.
Okay, so you don't have you do have carry out.
Yeah,
That's what-
takeout. Yeah, sir.
That's what we call takeout.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. It reminds me of when I was in Africa. They have we call it carry out here, and I think they call it in Africa takeout.
Oh, okay.
I think it's put together there anyway. But anyway, I'm just glad to have both of you here. I'm really happy for both of you. I'm
Thank
happy
you.
for you.
It's good to be
You know,
here.
of all of my adult life, I wanted to have a restaurant, and so this is about as close as I'm going to get. I think.
Yeah, you told me.
so I guess
Yeah.
you see me there. You see me there quite a lot. And of course, I'm gonna get my church people involved in it, and sort of just have the whole church to meet me there. And so I'll let you know when we do that, so you can be ready for us.
Okay,
and
we
that
would
kind of
love
thing.
that.
But I'm just happy that when people have their vision, and the vision comes to fruition, and especially when it's first class. And I got to admit to you guys, I like the uniform, or what you call it, the T-shirt,
collar shirts,
they're very nicely done.
Thank you.
And Southern Belle is a good name for it, because it not only is it soul food, but you also have that hospitality, Southern hospitality, so to
Yes.
speak. And so it's all of that and more. And I really want to recommend my sisters and brothers that you indeed try it this weekend. Just try it this weekend. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Southern Bells Bistro. They're on Woodward Avenue, right north of 9 Mile. And the telephone number again.
It's 248-607-3788.
Okay, and the address, Tony?
22939 Woodward Avenue, right above 9 Mile, north of 9 Mile.
And the name of it?
Southern Bells Bistro.
I thank both of you for being
Good
here.
food.
Once again,
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yes, thanks for having us.
Congratulations. We'll be right back, so just stay right there, and we'll basically, at the next segment, I want to talk about DPS. Where are we going to go? As I understand it, that the judge, Rosen, who's basically over they're giving him $18,000 a month. 18,000. And please help me verify this. $18,000 a month to do this, and we're broke. We'll be right back.
The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of W33BY, its affiliates, management, or sponsors. You're watching W33BY, Detroit, Highland Park, Michigan.
Wayne County Community College is a beacon of hope for so many people who can see the impact it's made, and that we're celebrating the 50th anniversary and all the good that it's done.
It has been the pathway for so many to obtain a higher education.
Congratulations to Wayne County Community College for 50 years of service to Detroit, Wayne County, and all of Southeast Michigan.
Making education much more available and affordable. 50th year is just the beginning of the first century.
Watch WHPR and TV 33 when you want, where you want, how you want. WHPR is now in your pocket. Download our free app by going to the App Store or Google Play and enter WHPR TV in the search engine. And there we are. You can download WHPR TV or radio. You heard about it. Now come be a part of it. Roku Detroit Worldwide. Approximately 8 million viewers.
Want a crisis in Flint? Detroit wants to hear from you. Broadcasting live on Comcast Channel 90 in Flint
and Comcast 91 in Detroit. We've heard from the governor,
Government failed you by breaking the trust you placed in us.
mayor, city council, state representatives, and others. Residents of Flint, we want to hear from you, the people. Let your voice be heard. Please notify family and friends. We can be seen online at TV33WHPR.com, on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Comcast Channel 90 in Flint, or download our free app, TV33. Flint residents, we want you to call us. Phone lines open from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m., Monday through Friday. Residents of Flint, we're waiting to hear from you. Call 313-868-4336. Water crisis in Flint. Detroit wants to hear from you. WHPR TV Detroit, a division of Watkins Broadcasting.
Simpson's Record Shop, serving Metro Detroit for 49 years in the same neighborhood at 2961 East McNichols Road and Joseph Campbell Street. We specialize in music, gospel, R&B, blues, jazz, and rap. We also carry music accessories, record player needles, and quite a selection of snacks and old school candy. We're good at finding out-of-print items. For more information, call 313-891-2400. Simpson's Record Shop. We're here to serve you. Once again, thank you so much for being with us here on this Saturday morning. Thank God for each and every one of you. Jim Holley here with you on the 14th day of May. The year's the same, 2016. Once again, we thank you so much. This morning, I want to talk a little bit, and I really don't want to get, the hair on the back of our necks really standing up or anything like this. But, my sisters and brothers, somewhere down the line, obviously stealing is wrong. It's wrong. And I'm not going to sit here and try to make a light of it or anything like that. But, but when you basically, sometimes, how can I say this? In terms of what people do to us, in what I consider the inner city and certainly the black community, and in regards to the city of Detroit in terms of bankruptcy, do you know how much money was spent on lawyers and consultants and all of this out of this bankruptcy situation? And then now you're talking about the Detroit public school system, and so you basically are saying, now maybe I should have verified this before I came on the air. I tried to do it. I called about 5-6 people, and out of the 5 that I called, I think 4 of them said that it's true that the judge that's over the Detroit public school system right now, they're paying them like $18,000 a month. Maybe it's $8,000 a month. I'm not quite sure what it is. But it's somehow, some kind of way. This is, people make money off of our problems. They make money off our problems, and somehow, some kind of way, I just feel like something is wrong with this. Something's unethical about this, again, like I said, I can't tell you the money that was made, and you know it, and I know. The lawyers and so forth that made money, and consultants made money off of this bankruptcy of here in the city of Detroit. And of course, they've taken over the court system. They've taken over the school system, and again, like I said, I don't want to be misquoted. I don't want to start anything. But I'm just saying to you is that when are we gonna get tired of this stuff? When are we gonna get tired of this stuff? I'm sure Judge. I've been trying to meet with Judge Rosen, and working, trying to get to him, but I have not been able to be successful at this particular time. I'm sure he's a wonderful guy. But my sisters and brothers, what does a judge know anything about education? Why is it that we always putting people that basically because if you play basketball, that means you can run a city. If you play football, you're a football player, you can run a bank. I mean, it doesn't mean that that you can't,
but because you are professional, because you got a name, doesn't necessarily mean that you can. And I'm just saying to you is when are we gonna get tired of this stuff? When are we gonna get tired of this? And so you're not going to meet with the school board. There's not going to be a conversation with them, as I understand it, based on the meeting they had last week. And so how are we going to get through? And I'm not sure what kind of education our children have had this year, because there's been so much work stoppage, one way or the other, work stoppage. And so I don't know what kind of education our children really have had. I saw where one or two children were got a scholarship to go to Howard, which is wonderful. I'm just grateful to that. Just great, not Howard, but Harvard school. I'm just grateful for that. For any student going anywhere, whether it's going to a historical black school or whether it's going to Harvard University or whatever, I'm just grateful for that. And it's wonderful that they're able to pull this off. With all this stuff that's going on in terms of the school system. And so why? I mean, why are we continually to put up with this kind of stuff? Why are we continuing to do this? And then on the other hand, and I do feel like there's a connection to this. There's a connection to this, and that is my sister and brother. I know that the police chief says, well, crime is down. Well, tell those 96 families that lost somebody so far this year. You tell that mother, tell that mother, tell their brothers and sister, tell that child who lost a mother or sister, a mother or a father. I mean, so yes, maybe crime is down. I think it was like 3 days ago, it was like 96 people that were killed in the city of Detroit. In Chicago, my gosh, it's almost like a war zone over there in Chicago. And the point I'm trying to say to you is, my sister and brother, it's almost like that this has been willfully willfully neglected on our part. Nowhere in the world would any other suburbs be put up with what's going on with our children here in the city of Detroit, or the crime that goes on in the city of Detroit. 96 people, and it's almost like the preachers, the politicians, nobody really cares. We just go on as if this is just the norm, and that we are, and we'll just put our heads in the sand and just let it think that it's going to take care of itself. And I'm not trying to put this on the mayor, or put it up on the county executive, or try to put it up on the preachers or the teachers or whoever it is. It's on all of us. It's on all of us, from the pulpit back to the door. It's almost like we just don't give a good hot chocolate. And I just don't understand this. I don't understand this, how we continue to allow people to come in and for lack of a better word, just rape our city of our resources, of our education. At Flint, in regards to Flint, is the water. In regards to Detroit, it's the education. It's the justice system. We could go on. It's the crime. We sit here and continue to ignore this kind of stuff. Last weekend, 18 shootings, 8 dead in one weekend. In one weekend, 18 shootings that we heard about, and 8 dead as a result of it that we heard about. And we went through that. And so we go through another weekend. The lady last night found in Pontiac, shot in the back of the head, mother of one, throw her on the side of the road like she's nothing but garbage. And obviously this is no one institution piece. It's all of us. But I don't see nobody bringing us together. Nobody. In other words, what in terms of what we can do, in terms of the drug war, in terms of the idleness of our young people. And remember now, we haven't even started school. We have not even started summer yet. We're still in May. We're still in May. We haven't even started the summer yet. Oh, my sisters and brothers, I don't want to be misunderstood, but I do feel like, if it's not racism, then it's neglect or it's sorryism. And I'm just saying to you that it's not like we don't care. That we don't care, and it's not my child. Sooner or later, my sister and brother, it will be. It will be if we are not careful about this. And I'm just saying to you is that I feel very shameful in the fact that we are continuing to live like this, just like it's a war zone. And with our education, or with Flint's water, and you can almost talk about whether or not we are dealing with this in terms of, we'll probably look at it in terms of urban America, and certainly in urban Michigan. I go to the phones and see, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just blowing this stuff out of proportion. Maybe it's just me. Maybe, Reverend, you just ain't got nothing to talk about. So you just go on and go on and rambling and going on. Maybe it is me. Maybe it's just me. But I'm telling you, my sisters and brothers, when you see what's going on, and this year after year, it's not like this is it's not like that we have. Caller, you in touch? How are you?
Good morning, Reverend Holley.
Yes.
And you're so right on so many points that you've already made this morning. But my thought is always that those who create the cause and effects are doing it in order to profit. Your listeners need to look up King Alfred Plan, because we're definitely, our country is ruled and governed by the corporate greed, because they're running everything and they're implicating all these racist policies. We're being set up for self-destruction, supporting our own demise and our own genocides. We're being dumbed down, numbed down. And I just feel that the country is being ran by Jim Crows, Nazis, and the KKK. The writing is on the wall, because the only people who are profiting are the ones from another ethnic group who are using our own people to work their plans. So we have to wake up and, we need our own education centers. We need to stop sending our seeds to a beast, because they continue to steal resources from them to set them up for those new, what we call it, the new modern plantation called private prisons, because our children are not getting the same opportunities and the appropriate environment for them to learn and to move on and compete. Thank you for taking my call and for everything that you do. We appreciate you.
And thank you for the call. Call you in touch this morning.
Doing good, Reverend Holley.
Yes.
When I added it up, he gets $236,000 a year if he stays there a year. And he's not the first one. Robert Bob made $407,000, and all of them got money. Was supposed to be financial managers. They were financial managers to purposely destroy our school system, and they have done a good job of it. And the political body that we elect to office has been a piss poor a group of people who sit back for crumbs and allow this to happen, never came to the community. Such as, when I looked at my tax bill, I found out that the operating the school operating meal, that's $18 on every taxable value of my property. That's half the value of my property. That money that is supposed to we renewed it in 2006, and in 2006 when we renewed it, the purpose was, like every tax proposal got a purpose, and the people say, I vote for that purpose. The purpose was classroom instruction, technology, intercollegiate,
Right.
athletic,
I remember that.
music, and art program. Not one. Then they're talking about the governor and the state legislators, House and Senate. We're going to repurpose that money to pay down the debt. And the state politicians, the local politicians, and the activists never went to the Constitution of Michigan that says, quote, the law initiated or adopted by the people shall not be subject to the veto power of the governor. No law adopted by the people shall be amended or appealed except by the vote of the electorate or 3/4 votes of members of both houses. Well, that ain't happened. We haven't not went and said we want to repurpose that money. And yet, though, all the activists, all the people that love the people that's got a position haven't said nothing. Every state lawmaker should be thrown out of office and never voted in life again. The same goes for the city council and all the activists. We should not listen to them. So we must interject and say, no, you're going to go by the law. And if you don't have, if we don't have a vote, nobody have a vote. The 3/4 vote, I'm going to do you like Martin Luther King said. Any law that's unjust is no law, and we don't recognize it. And we're going to shut billions of dollars downtown. We're not going to picket in front of no building like the union do it, trying to keep scab labor, because that's what you see, like the teachers picket in front of the school center building. That's what the unions does, but the unions did that to keep scab labor down. We're going to march, a real march. We're going to march downtown and block up the traffic, and so we're going to hurt billions of dollars, and it's going to hurt it all over the world. We're not going to let you do our children in our community like this.
Gotcha.
And anyone who do not go along that program and come up with some boycott when you got unemployed people that can't boycott, and they're helping the enemy. Only one way we can do it, Reverend Holley. We must organize across this city, and we must shut downtown. And the way you organize, we must make the teachers do what we want them to do. Okay. It ain't about their pay. They don't want to run into the House bill because the House bill said we're going to do it with the union. So we're going to say you can't use the Senate bill because we ain't vote on it, and we're going to make those 30-something thousand or 3,000-something teachers use their bodies to go in the neighborhoods of Detroit, organize in Detroit, and shut this down, and we're going to gain our dignity back. If we don't do that, we through booking. And anybody talking about going to court and all that mess is not looking at really what the court has been in history.
All right, thank you. Call you in touch this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, how are you?
I'm doing great. Reverend Holley, you're a beautiful person. I respect your position. And I'm a parent of 2 sons who have graduated from Detroit Public Schools, are successful. And I don't understand what's wrong with the parents not getting behind their sons. And I have grandchildren coming up in Detroit, in the public schools, and they should be outraged. I was a parent pro. I worked in Detroit public schools. I was educated in Detroit public schools. And how we parents need to get together, we need to get together with these parents in the schools.
Gotcha.
Kids are not being raised by the parents.
Yeah.
They're being raised by the streets.
Gotcha. Thank you so
and
much.
we need to do something about that.
You're right. And I appreciate
And you are one person who can get this done.
Yeah.
I believe in you. I believe in your church. I have visited your church. You have a fine facility, a drug programs, and I'm willing to rally with you to do something about this situation.
Thank you so much.
And these kids today, they don't want nothing. But the parents have to put something into them to want something.
Gotcha.
I have a son who graduated from Parental High School, went to the University of Michigan.
Okay.
I have another son who worked at Chrysler and who's a supervisor. So we can do something.
Yeah.
Don't give up hope on these kids.
Gotcha.
It's a problem, yes. But we need strong, stubborn people who raise me, who help me, and we need the same people where you come from. They need to be taught by the old school.
Right. Thank you very much, and thank you for the call. Call you in touch early this morning.
Good morning, Reverend Holley, and thank you, sir, for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
You know, Reverend Holley is in the preambles of the Declaration of Independence. The founding fathers who supposedly came to this country because government had become an unnecessary evil. You know, Reverend Holley, when I think back on that, and I think about the situations that we're dealing with in the black community, and I say in the black community, Reverend Holley, because I am black, and I live in this particular community. Reverend Holley, I have never in my life seen government function or not function for the people. Now, one of the things that we were told, Reverend Holley, we took civics in our schools, in our classrooms. We went to school. We learned about government, to petition government to be able to address our needs. Reverend Holley, I have come to this conclusion that government, we need to try to find a better way or a different way whereby we can reach government with our particular issues. It seems as though, Reverend Holley, what's in place or what has been put in place and called government, we have no way of being able to connect with that, to have our issues addressed. Right. Social, economic, we have no way to bring forth our grievances and petition government to address them. So that tells me, Reverend Holley, that we need to have a different way to deal with our politics, deal with those issues, those social issues that we are confronted with each and every day. Education is no longer working. In fact, these things are impediments to us. Education does not move us from one state of being to another if you happen to be black and living in a poor district in our area. Government has completely abandoned us and has failed to address our issues. So then, Reverend Holley, the most logical thing to do, by being Democrat, Republican, whatever our political affiliation happens to be, it is not working. So therefore, we need to look at some different means or methods whereby we can get government to address our issues. And we don't have to call it, because I know a lot of people get offended when we we deal with issues and we call them black agenda issues. So there has to be a way for us to be able to get government to address those things that we are affected with daily. Education is not working. There's no jobs in our community. We live in high crime-infested areas. Our educational systems are nothing more than holding cells for our children. And the prison industrial complex has taken toll on us. Reverend Holley, there has to be another way. And I'll be listening today. Okay. Hopefully, we can come up with some type of solutions whereby we can petition government. Because as the founding fathers stated, when government becomes an unnecessary evil, it is it is the duty and responsibility of the people to overthrow that government to install new ones. Yeah. I didn't write that. The founding fathers wrote that, and they fought and they died for it. Yeah. It is time for us to come up with ways to be able to either get government to address our issues, or we need to install new ones. Sir, thank you for taking my call.
And I thank you for the call. Again, I wanted to just make sure that you get your calls in. And I thank you for all the calls that we've already had so far. And my sisters and brothers, I think I've learned the right to say this because all of my adult life I've been involved in civil rights, and I think I've earned the right to say this. And I know that from last week, many of you felt like that I'm basically feel like that I'm accusing the President Obama, and that you feel like that it's not fair, and that he's doing the best that he can, and that he's basically it's not the reason why we're in the situation where we're in, and that all the things that you've said that I should not be saying about President Obama. And I'm not understand my sister and brother. I love my daughter. I love my granddaughter, and also I say to them what I think is good for their life and for their livelihood, and give them follow advice. And so even as a minister, that basically I think I have a right to say a couple of things in terms that I feel like that the president is missing here. For example, just one example, the Justice Department is handed down, and I know you're going to feel like this is theological, but again, I don't care if you feel that way or not. I'm just going to say it. The Justice Department has handed down that indeed, if the school system does not, can you move that table for me, son? If the school system does not conform to this transgender piece, whereby you can need to have liberation, and that you got to have things put in place where people who basically want to be, if they are transgender, if they want to have changed sexes from male to female, then they can go into a facility, showers, to a bathroom, and so forth. And that the schools, if they feel they don't do right by that, they're going to take the funding from them. And now remember now that this population we're talking about, gay and lesbian and transgender population, is 3% of the country. 3% of the country. Listen to me, 3% of the country. And so you're going to take the funds from school systems if you don't comply to the Justice Department decree about lesbian, gay, and transgender. But my sisters and brothers, what's going on in urban America with black children in education? This is not just Detroit. You go to any urban city in this country, and you see the same thing. You see what's going on. But they're more concerned. It's not to say they should be concerned, but I'm just trying to tell you that that this is where we're going. That the priority is a 3% of the population, not the 13% of the population, which is African Americans. And so, and you're going to tell me that this should be a priority for the Justice Department, not the miseducation that they're doing to children in urban America. It would seem like to me that's where we ought to be taking funds from people who are not educating our children. Now, I know many of you want to march. You want to do this. To me, I really think that should be a class action suit against the state of Michigan for not educating our children. We just can't continue to educate our children up under this management thing. This is not the way to educate the children, under this management piece. This is not the way to do it. Should we need to have an overhaul of the education department? Yes, I don't have a problem with that. But you can't do it by doing it the way we're doing it right now. And my sisters and brothers, I'm just saying to you is that the government we have the right. I put it this way: our children have a right to be educated by the state, and the state has a obligation to educate our children. And if they're not doing that, then we should basically sue them. Take them all the way to the Supreme Court if you have to. And somewhere like Michigan State or University of Michigan or the Law School of the University of Detroit should be doing this pro bono. And I'm just saying to you, we cannot continue to do this. You cannot continue to run the school system like this. You know, you don't have to be in who's who to know what's what. Not at all. You got to understand this. And I'm not going to blame anybody but us. Now, you can do all this stuff about Ku Klux Klan and all this kind of stuff. It's us. And if you don't demand it, my son brother, they're not going to give it to you. They're not going to give it to you. We had 18 people shootings last weekend, 8 people dead, and no press conference, nothing but the same old yang that comes out of the police department. You know, and he says that we're not. He don't like a marching. Get rid of the marching. But he's in the next day. He's in the march. This is not to be unkind. It's just that I'm frustrated by the fact is I see our children in the city of Detroit in this predicament, and they have nobody but us to get in front of them and to try to help the children that's here and the children yet to come. And this is not the way to run a school system, is by management, whether it's by a judge, or whether it's by Early or anybody else. This is not the way to do this. I'll take a break. I know you want me to. I'll take a break. I'll be right back.
The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of W33BY, its affiliates, management, or sponsors. You're watching W33BY, Detroit, Highland Park, Michigan. Your radio is now on TV. Your TV is now on radio. WHPR 88.1 FM can now be heard and seen worldwide. The same platform that hosts all of your favorite content now has WHPR TV and radio. Have your own radio or TV show on Roku with approximately 8 million homes starting as low as $50. Debut your music video, clothing line, church ministry, plays, or products. A limited number of slots are available, so act now. For more information, visit RokuDetroit.com or call 313-868-6612. You heard about it. Now come be a part of it. Roku Detroit Worldwide. Approximately 8 million viewers.
We're back, and thank you so much, and I appreciate you putting up with me. I was trying to do some research for another topic in terms of the commuting sentencing that the president has done. In other words, he's basically commuting sentences of people in prison to get them out of prison. And I wish you listened to look at. I found one guy that's been the president has basically commuted his sentence. He killed a mother and a daughter, sliced their neck, their throat, and the president just gave him the slip to get out of prison. And I can go on and on and on. There were these drug people. You know, and I'm not saying all drug people are bad or anything like this, and many people make mistakes, and we all do. And I'm on my fifth second chance right now. I'm not trying to be judgmental on anybody, but my sisters and brothers, let me tell you something that we got some problems here. We got some problems here, and I think that we are I gave you last week, and I'll go back to the phones. I got time. 228,000 children, 1 out of 10, have a parent incarcerated. Michigan ranks 5th in this area. Understand that, again, a family income can drop from 22% when a father is incarcerated. Well-being children in the household are deeply affected by domestic violence. Nationwide, 5 million children across this country have a parent in prison. 5 million. 5 million. With my sister and brother, with 13 million people in the country. 5 million of our children have a parent, 1 or 2 parents in prison. You know, we got some problems. And Carla, you're in touch. How are you?
I'm fine, Reverend Holley. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. Happy Saturday to you. You know, we have to put forth a stronger effort. I know they say each one teach one, but we have to share the statistics that you're giving this morning with as many as we come across. And today at 2 o'clock, I'm going to be at the Dable office on Grand River in Wyoming, and I certainly will be sharing that information, because if we don't reach back and bring our children up by our side, then they become a fodder for these prisons, the pipeline to prison. I understand that contracts are signed for private prisons only if they will be guaranteed that 1,000 beds will be filled. Now, when somebody signs a contract like that, it says to me that the police department is going to allow crime to go on. They won't be patrolling as they should, and that makes it easier for the criminals to take advantage. So we have to be watchful of what is going on, share the information for others, look out for each other as well, and recycle the money in our own communities, because as we build our own businesses, that makes opportunities for employment for people in our community. Don't you agree?
Yes, ma'am. I do very much. Thank you for the call. Yeah, Caller, you in touch. How are you this morning?
Hey, Reverend Holley, how you doing?
Okay.
Reverend Holley, I appreciate you and what you're saying. You're hitting the nail on the head. You know what hurt me, Reverend Holley? You mean to tell me we had 100,000 people in Flint report? We dying out here in Detroit every weekend, you know, and the most important thing is what bathroom somebody can use. How did they get that passed so quick? You know what I'm saying? They still haven't helped the people in Flint yet, but they mean, what bathroom I can use? I mean, we better wake up, black people in America. Yeah. We better wake up.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
We better wake up. Reverend Holley, thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'll go right back. Go back to the phone. I just want to make sure that those of you just joining us, and we're talking basically, you know, how are we going to get out of this mess that we're in? I know that I'm sort of got the scrambled eggs on the stove here, and that we don't have in a particular subject. I'm just telling you that all this stuff is connected, and that somehow, some kind of way, my sister and brother, if we're not careful, we're going to end up being a endangered species. That when you talk about what's happening to our young black men, unemployed, we talk about children who are basically in the school system who are uneducated. When you basically talk about the crime situation, and we got 228,000 children who have one parent or more in prison. When you got 5 million children across the country that has a parent in prison. when you got people coming out of prison with no degrees, with no education, no reading skills, nothing for the most part, and you got a situation where you got the Justice Department that really more concerned about transgender and lesbians and gay, and it's fine. They should be protected. I'm not, but my sisters and brothers, you know, what about us? What's going on with us? What is it about us? And I'm just saying to you is that Detroit is a typical of urban America. It's what's going on in Chicago will never happen. What's going on in Detroit will never happen in a suburban community. Never. You know it and I know it. You know it and I know it. If 18 people was shooting, 18 shootings, and 8 people died in the same different families, you know, and this is continually 96 people have been is murdered in Detroit, 96, and we're still bragging about the fact is that it's crime is down. But yeah, my sister and brothers, you know, it's something. I mean, so you know, calling you in touch. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Reverend Holley. How you doing?
I'm okay.
That's good. You know, I feel your frustration, and it's not just you. It's a lot of us out here that feel exactly the same way you do. As far as the crime and Chief Craig coming out saying that the crime is down. Well, he has to justify that $200,000 that he's making. So, of course, he's going to try to paint a different picture. But like you said, ask the parents who's losing their children every day or people that lose someone close in their family about some darn statistics. They don't give a darn about that. They just know that their loved one is gone over something senseless, and that should be prevented. Next of all, I agree 1,000% with your view on the transgender issue. I mean, are you kidding me? We have not the Secretary of State, the Miss Lynch, whatever her title is, it escapes me right now, coming out making an announcement about some transgender, we have your back, yada, yada, yada. And like you said, but what about our back? When they came in here and abrogated our voting rights, when we voted no on the emergency manager and the nerd put it in anyway, where were they then? Where was President Obama? Where was Miss Lynch or the guy before her? You didn't hear a peep out of them. So how in the world can you sit up here and be concerned about where were the transgenders using the laboratory before? Where is this a big issue now? You know, they're majoring in minors. And my conclusion is that we've been selected to be the permanent underclass. It's just like slave days. We've been selected as the people that they make money off of. And they sit up there and, ignore our needs and ignore the fact that we are tax-paying citizens and just treat us like dirt, more or less. So, I said it before, it's good we have a so-called black president, but my bottom line has decreased since he's been in office. So that's all I'm going by. Yeah. So I feel your frustration, and we are on our own. We cannot look to government because we've been selected to be the permanent underclass. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the call. Call you in touch. How are you this morning? Good morning. Yes.
President Obama term in office was planned way long time ago. What better way to cast black people in a state of despair equal to the Jim Crow era than have a black president do it? Because he's going to be looked at as, he's the first black president. He has all this symbolism support from churches and black people all over the place. He has been given a free line of credit, so to speak, to just make things horrible for black people. What better way to do it than have a black person do it? That is all pre-planned and in the cards. The fact that he's had a lot of examples. When he first came in office, he sent Haitians back who reached the shore of the United States more so than Bush. In fact, Bush suspended it, gave Haitians temporary protective status. Obama comes in office and lifts it, sends Haitians back. That was the first sign that this guy was a representative of white racist supremacy. Look up to today. First of all, he continued sanctions against Zimbabwe the other day, something that President Bush started in 2003, trying to destroy that country. And every year, they do it every year, and Obama has again pushed sanctions to try to destroy Zimbabwe, a country that now is taking its own lead and throwing white people off land that they stole from Zimbabweans. This transgender thing, for instance, up to today, transgender people have been using bathrooms of their choice for years. For years. It's a non-issue. The fact that he would want to come in and make an edict telling the public schools you're going to lose money if you don't let them do their thing. They've been doing it already. This is an attempt to permanently destroy public education. Obama came in office with that mandate. Nobody stopped him. Nobody checked him. We were all so happy to have a black president and have some black children up in the White House. But I'm telling you again, it's a perfect recipe to bring us back to Jim Crow eras by having a black person do it.
Thank you
And
for
let me tell you, Weber, it's going to get worse. More are going to die. And the bottom line is capitalism is the mother and father of all despair and crime. That's why you have a lot of people in our community who are joining this this rogue racist system because they have to pay their bills. They're not going to be willing to live in shelters or out in the street. They're going to sell out, and it's because capitalism creates this desperation in people that allow them to do things against their best interest in their community.
Okay, thank you for
There we go.
Thank you so much, my friend. Caller, you in touch. How are you this morning?
Yes, Reverend Holley, I called back because I agree with everything you said this morning. But I do find one thing where our difference is. It's in the most effective method. And I think that that see the world as you have stated, I see it the same way, and as the caller just before us, before me, I see the world the same way he does. We should sit down, and because the children got nobody in front of us but us. We can't depend on the president. We should sit down in Detroit and talk about the most effective way to come out of this thing we're in. And I'm willing to sit down with you and anyone else, and let's discuss the most effective method. And come up with a united front on the method that we're going to be applying. And I just want to call back and say I agree with your whole assessment of the trans. What is it?
Gender.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, gotcha.
Gender. It's a disgrace. It's a crime. And the other caller gave a true description of what Obama was, and we missed it because he was the first black president. He's the most vicious person ever been in the president since we've been out of slavery on black people in America.
Okay, thank you for the call. Again, I don't want this to be a beat up on Obama program, a segment. And this is, again, I don't agree with you in terms of your analysis of the president. It's just my problem is one or two things, not with the whole presidency or with the whole president. And I feel like that we can basically disagree with the president on this issue or that issue, but in terms of his demeanor, in terms of his being president, I think he's going to go down as one of the best presidents in the whole country. I think when history looks over this, you're going to find. I'm just saying to you, my sisters and brothers, that it would seem like to me what really ought to be a priority for on this priority list. It should be education, urban education in America. It should be, and that if people are not educating our kids in urban America, then we ought to basically take funding from them, not for but you're going to talk about transgender and gay and lesbian. That's 3% of the population. Please understand that. 3% of the population. We are 15% of the population. And you're going to tell me that we ought not to be a priority in terms of I just told you that in Michigan that 42,000 prisoners that we have in Michigan. 42. We got 47 prisons and 42,000 people in prison. I'm just saying to you, my sister, brother, you got 5 million kids. We're 13%, 14% of the population. 5 million kids have a parent in prison. And you know, and I'm just saying, I don't expect the White House. I don't expect the white people or somebody else to come in. But somewhere down the line, we got to come together. People got to realize, my sisters, brothers, is that we're out here by ourselves. We don't have no cavalry coming for our help. We got to understand this, and so you got to come together. We can disagree, but we got to at least come together and agree on 1 or 2 strategies in terms of how we're gonna get ourselves out of this, and not to be so blaming this person or that person. It's us. It's us. You know, it's us. Yes, there's racism. Yes, there is people who basically don't care, but also there's sorryism, and that part comes from us. We get in this mode that we just feel like, my son, we can't do no better. We can do better. But to sit here and allow this governor to continue to have business managers to run this city, this school system, and continue to see people dying in the streets in urban America, in Detroit, as well as Chicago, New Orleans, Philadelphia, all through urban America. My sister, brother, and we continue to see this happen each and every day, and we do nothing. We do nothing. We run around here with Hillary and ask what are you going to do for us? I know what you want us to do for you, but what you going to do for us? And we're not checking that. We're not checking that. And sometimes, my sister, brother, this country really we ought to give them Trump, and maybe this country deserves a Trump. Yes, I said it. Maybe this country deserves a Trump. You know, maybe that's what this country really needs. Because for this point, Reverend, I'm just telling my sisters and brothers, this is unconscionable of what's going on to us in Black America. It's unconscionable, and we sit around here and see what's going on with our children day in and day out. You know, yes, we got teachers and principals and all like this in this scandal. Yes, and that's a disgrace. But at the same time, there are more good people in the school system than there are bad. There are more good teachers than there are bad teachers. There are more good principals than there are bad principals. There are more good preachers than there are bad preachers. And I'm just saying what we got to do is rally around and try to make sure, my sister and brother, that we're not even talking. We're not even talking about the crime. We're not even talking about the overall vision for Detroit public school system. And what in the world does Snyder know about urban education? It's more than just going to school. These kids cannot. They don't have no food. They don't have no shoe. They don't have no clothing. They don't have parental guidance. The home breakup and all this kind of stuff. You take social workers out of the picture. You got kids in special education who basically are not in special education. My sisters and brothers, this is, you don't, again, I'm just saying to you is, don't sit here and just think that somebody's going to come. They don't give a good hot chocolate about us. They don't give a good hot chocolate about us. If they did, we'll be doing better. We will be doing better. I'm not, I don't, obviously as a preacher, I'm against all this stuff about gay and lesbian and transgender and all that kind of stuff, but I also know God loves everybody. He loves everybody. Them, he loves the sinner and not the sin. And understand a whole lot of folk gonna go to hell. That's not gay. You don't have to be a lesbian to go to hell, or a gay or a trans. You can be an adulterer. You can be a liar. You can be all of that. All of us are in this thing together. So, but I'm just saying to you is that there ought to be some special emphasis on what's going on in urban America. And you're going to take money away from schools because they're, so tonight I decide I'm going to be a woman. And so in the morning I'm going to go out and I'm going to go in a shower. I'm going to go in a woman's restroom because I decided I gotta feel that I want to be a woman. I said, what's wrong with this country? The gender, the guy that Kardashian, whatever the guy's name is, he changed over to a woman. Now he wants to change back to a man because he still got feelings for women, and so he wants to change his gender back. My sisters and brothers, you go tell me this world is gone mad. This country is gone mad, and we are allowing and we are participating in the madness. We are participating in the madness. This is not theological. This is just plain simple. Common sense. That somehow, some kind of way, we got to understand this. And so, when you see, nowhere in the world will the suburbs of Chicago put up with stuff that's going on in Chicago. I say Chicago because Chicago is 1,000 times worse than Detroit. And what's going on with the gangs and stuff. And pretty soon they're going to have National Guards to come in and go on the south side. And just listen to me. Just listen to me. Just listen to me. And if this governor who's Republican have the audacity to do that, you can imagine what's going to happen. A lot of other cities around and occupying. I have a military occupying a community, but we can get this under control. We can get this under control. I don't mean no harm. I really don't mean no harm. I really don't mean no harm. I really don't mean no harm. But I don't need people from Chicago to come in Detroit and tell me how to run Detroit. I don't go to Chicago. I don't go to Philadelphia to tell them how to run them. Their city. I don't need you to come here and tell me that what I need. I can, but you handle if you can't handle Chicago, you can't handle Philadelphia, you can't handle New Orleans, don't come in here and tell me. We can handle this. Yes, I said it. What you going to do about it? I said it. Call you in touch. How are you?
Morning, Reverend. When they decide to expand this law to include churches, will you be willing to build a third restroom in your church?
Yeah, if I have to have government money, I'm gonna have to. I just don't have no government money, so I don't have to. But if I got government money, if in other words, if you're gonna take government money, you got to play the game.
You know, they're more worried about bathrooms instead of books.
Remember,
They don't got books in the class.
that's
They worry
precise.
about bathrooms.
That's a precise. This is the Justice Department now, and there's somebody black running that, somebody running the black running this, somebody running black running that, somebody black running that. This isn't about it. This is, and this reason I'm saying to my son, there's no reason for all this nonsense. It's no reason for it. And if you're going to do it, include us. Make sure that the children of Detroit got paper. They got toilet paper, toilet tissue. They got books. They got experienced teachers. The thing that they need to have to run to be educated. Make sure they have that. And if they don't do it, take the funds from them. Call you in touch. How are you this morning?
Good morning. Am I on the air?
Yes, you are.
Yes. Thanks for taking my call, Reverend Holley. Calm yourself down. You really getting kind of heated here. I'm watching you. You really calm down a little bit. I just wanted to say this. I think us as black people, we criticize each other too much. People calling in talking about Obama. They're talking about people of color. What are they going to do? Could you explain to me, Reverend Holley, what is the duties of our Mayor Duggan? What has he done for the school system? What is his duties for the city of Detroit? Also, what are the duties of our governor, who is a white person? Why are people calling and complaining about him? They complain about Obama. Black people, because I think a lot of us don't think much of ourselves, so we have to talk about the black man who is the president. But what about the mayor? What has he done about the school system?
Right.
Could you go into that for me, Reverend Holley? Right. And thanks for taking my call.
No, and it's a good call. I mean, it's really a good call, especially a good timely call. It's a good call. And obviously, and the question and the way I answer that is, he hasn't done enough. He has not done enough. He has not done enough. And I know that from all indications that they don't want him to take over the school system, or don't want to have the city connected to the school system. And I know that's a political posturing. But the other thing, of course, is when you got 18 shootings and 8 people dead, and no press conference, nothing that basically says that, again, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Bring the community together, bring the preachers together, bring the teachers together, bring parents together. Let's have a round, stable discussion as how we can basically deploy our police officers. Do we need to put them on the ground? We got, the president is trying to, they want the president to put boots on the ground in Afghanistan and Iraq. We need to have boots on the ground for the police department in the city of Detroit and put them in those areas where basically crime is ribbit. So the answer to that is not enough. That's the way I answer that. You're in touch. How are you?
Good morning, Reverend Holley.
Yes.
Good morning. How you doing?
Just fine.
Yeah. I'm like calm down a little bit, man, because I'm heated just like you are. I feel where you at, and it ain't so much everybody riding Obama. We rode the mayor. We rode Duggan. She might not have heard it. He ain't doing nothing. He up there in Lansing fighting. Somebody he gonna fight like hell to get this soccer thing together. When our schools is all screwed up, he should be fighting like hell for our school for the kids. On the other hand, Obama is wrong. We don't give Obama no pass because he's black. Well, we can't say nothing about him because when he do something that against us, well, he don't get no pass just because he's black. And we have to stop looking at it that way. Every time somebody says something about Obama,
oh, he a black man. So what? He can be wrong just like the white man. You know what I'm saying? And the governor, we got the petitions going around trying to get him out of office. So we've been talking about the governor. We've been talking, Mayor Duggan, we rolled him when he was getting in office and when he's been in office. He just as wrong. I'm looking at the news today. They were talking about the soccer things that they putting over there where the jail is, and they said Mayor Duggan go back and he go fight like heck to get it here. Well, how come you ain't fight like hell to get the schools back in order, Duggan? How come you ain't fight like hell to help the city and the community? You know what I'm saying? For all these shootings that's going on, like you said. I'm mad just like you, Reverend Holley, and you on point, and I don't care what nobody says. You are on point, and I'm happy and glad that you're speaking about it, because we need to stand up and raise hell about this that's going on in the city. Thank you for taking my call, Reverend Holley.
Right. And I thank you. I thank you for the call. I want to make sure again that I'm not blaming Obama. I'm not blaming anybody other than us. That we, for the most part, got to take care of us. That's why nobody's going to save us from us but us. That's the way I feel about it. Now, in terms of president, who's the most powerful person, black or white, in the world. So if we're having these shootings in urban America, police officers killing us, we killing each other, could not we have some of the best minds around the country to come in and basically have a discussion about this at the invitation of the president? Can we not have a kind of a conference of how we can deal with this in urban America or in America, period? Could that not be possible? Could not be possible? When the gays they met with him, all those other groups met with him, and they're still meeting with him. But we have this segment, then another segment, and then another segment, maybe meeting with the president. But I'm telling what we need to do is that we need to bring these segments together, and basically he has a sense of where we are and where we should go. He's been black all of his life, like you and me. We've been black all of our lives. I don't expect white people to understand this. I don't expect them to, even though they may indeed try and can be very helpful. But I'm just saying to you is, have you heard of a conference in the last 8 years where basically that the White House has something on what we are going through with education and the lack of education of our children in urban America, and even with this whole thing about the killers of police officers? There's some 80-some people that have been killed by police officers, and also police officers being killed by blacks. That ought to be that can be included. All I'm saying to you is that we all have some pulpit that God gives us to be able to really to really, and sometimes a bully pulpit, in order to rally people together. And even if you come up with the fact is there is no answer, maybe there's no answer to our problem. Maybe there's no answer. Maybe right now there's nobody got an answer to it. Then say that. Then say that. But you can't ignore what's going on in Detroit. You can't ignore what's going on in Chicago. You can't do that. You cannot do this. And and my sister and brother, there are more kids that have been killed in Chicago than in Sandy Hook. So and this is not to be disparaging or degrading or to be just critical, just to be critical. It's basically, if you can't help us, who can? Miss, If the president can't help you, who can? Who can? You know, obviously, you don't expect. You see what the governor's already done, because many of these people, for the most part, they care about businesses, they care about buildings, and not people. And that's the problem. When one thing you can say about Mayor Young, you can say what you want to say about him, but not only did he care about the buildings, he cared about the people. You can say what you want to say about Kwame, and certainly Kwame, I'm not dealing with that. But I'm also saying to you is that you can always say he did care. He did care. He did care. And I'm just saying to politicians, got to understand it's just not about buildings. It's not just business. It's just not making things better for people who already have resources. We got to do something about our community. We got to do something about our community. And the problem with many of us, we like to rub shoulders with important people without asking them anything or for anything. We like that, you know. And here's Miss Hillary, most likely will be president of these United States, and she can't be president without the vote of black people and brown. And you're going to walk in there with no agenda for us, no agenda, and she can't win without us. But you're going to wait till she gets in there and then and try to make a covenant of some kind. It's not going to work. Politicians, you cannot trust them. You cannot trust them because they have no sense of what the future is going to be for them. Sure, Obama probably was thinking about doing a whole lot for America, including black people. And when he got there, he come to realize that he was up against this wall, up against that wall. And so I'm saying to you, my sisters and brothers, this is not beating up on any particular person. But I'm saying to you is we are sitting around here and yang-yanging day in and day out with the school system and have no plans what's going to happen in September. What's going to happen in September? And who's making those plans for us? Is Lansing making those plans for us? Our parents and leadership in this community part of making the plans for us? Are teachers involved in it? Are parents involved in it? And students involved? The preachers, the candlestick makers, are we involved in it? And somebody's going to tell us what's in the best interest of us? The Jewish people wouldn't do it. The Italians wouldn't do it. No other group on the face of the earth will allow people to do this to them that we let other people do to us. My sisters and brothers, that's my point. It's not about about bashing the president. Guys, they're going to the brilliant minds in the world. No scandal. Beautiful family. Beautiful children. Just exemplary in terms of deportment, in terms of being president of these United States. But my sisters and brothers, you know, the rich ain't worried about somebody waking up at nighttime saying, I think I'm going to be a woman, and I'm a man wake up at night, I'm going to be a woman, so I'm going to be a woman tomorrow. My sisters and brothers, this maybe I'm oversimplifying it. Maybe I just don't understand. You know, I'll take that. But I'm saying to you, my sisters and brothers, but what's more important to me is the children, the black children. I'm not anti anybody. I'm just pro-black. And what's most important to me is the children in this country, in urban America, and the children yet to be born. What's going to happen? What's going to happen to them? And should those of us who basically are in a position to make it better for them, should not we make it better for them? Should not we make it better for them? Sure we should. Sure we should. And my cinema, the only way we can do it is basically we need to come together. We have to come together. I mean, last weekend, 8 people dead, 18 shooters, not one preacher, not one politician, not one teacher that I know of that came out and said, man, this is enough is enough. We can't continue to do this to each other. Last night, a 25-year-old mother found on the road, on the side of the road in Pontiac area, shot in the back of her head. Mother of a boy, 25 years old, shot in the back of the head. And 25 years old. You go down to Swanson, you go to Coles, you go to any funeral home. You don't see the old people, you see nothing but young people. And these are the people, for the most part, that you don't hear about on the news. There's one woman that she has 3 children that's been killed. One is a nephew, the other 2 sons, in the same family. The same family. Oh, man, my sisters and brothers. Caller, you're really in touch. How are you? Good morning.
Good morning, Reverend Holley.
Yes.
Yeah, Deputy Chief. How you doing today?
You're on the air.
Okay. Hey, Reverend Holley, this is Deputy Chief.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, look, everything that you said, I agree. And with some of the other callers. We see what's happening with the governor, what he's doing to our city, to our school system. The question is, why haven't we heard from the different organizations that's supposed to have advocacy in Detroit, supposed to be community leaders, like We the People, Hood Research, Get on the Bus Lady, Joanne Watson, the Shrine of the Black Madonna, Keep the Vote No Takeover, the NAACP, the Urban League, the Muslims, the Detroit Federation of Teachers, and the New Era organization. None of these folks have come out and said, hey, get behind the recall of Rick Snyder, because the things that's happening to us is emanating from the governor. And so what we need is for everyone to get on this embrace this recall of Rick Snyder.
What's the number,
Reverend? It's without question. He's held up our revenue sharing. That's why we can't get enough police, enough firefighters, enough EMTs. It just don't make no sense. And for the teachers, yeah, we need to support the teachers wholeheartedly. But the teachers need to demand from their union leadership to get out here and embrace this recall. They see what he's doing. He's destroying DPS. And what is our teachers doing? They're sitting up selling lemonade on I-75 and Mac. That's insane. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. We need to stop process and ignorance. We need to get over to 7729 Rosa Parks and get trained and get so we can collect these signatures. And the contact number is 313-451-1304. It's over at Union Grace Church. This ain't making no sense. Even the young people are asking. They see what's happening with some of the seniors, with some of the folks that's been around talking about, we got information, we holding meetings every month. Well, what are you doing with that information? And the question again is, why are you not advocating to your members of your groups, why you're not advocating recall Rick Snyder?
Okay, very good.
So you're absolutely right, Reverend Holley.
All right, and I thank you for the call. I'm going to take a couple more calls. I just want to make sure that there's a special announcement here at WHPR TV and radio in conjunction with Divine Grace Ministries is having a food giveaway on next Saturday at 2 o'clock. Next Saturday at 2 o'clock right here at the station, 150 Victor, next door to the station, 150 Victor. here in Highland Park. That's next Saturday at 2 o'clock. Food giveaway right here. Also, I want to make sure there is the 20th annual Detroit Area Kids Fishing Derby. It's presented by Hook, Line, and Sinker of the City of Detroit Recreation Department. And this will take place on next Saturday also. And they're going to be at Lake Francis in the Palmer Park. And this is for a derby on fishing, a fishing derby. And you get the information from the Recreation Department here in the city of Detroit. Call you in touch. How are you this morning?
You know, Reverend Holley, in Chicago, Illinois, they had in one weekend over 500 shootings. And of those shootings, Reverend Holley, half of those individuals died as a result. And none of the people that were supposedly shot, Reverend Holley, were intended victims. But yet, we had no attorney general coming out issuing a lawsuit charging local law enforcement or addressing that issue as being a national occurrence or an issue of national attention that will garner that.
How many?
In Detroit, in a weekend, we have 18 shootings, 8 individuals shot, 3 or 4 of them been children, not intended victims, but yet no attorney general and no one from high law enforcement issuing a lawsuit addressing the issue of human life being protected. Our schools, Reverend Holley, as we speak, I think the woman that called in, the lady that called in and said that we are the intended permanent underclass, lady hit the nail on the head.
Gotcha.
When it comes to black people, they have relegated a people. So they're not going to invest in those things of human life, of human value, of human interest in order to sustain that life. This is why we get no attention from government at any level, Reverend Holley, at any level. This, as you said, Reverend Holley, it would not be permitted to go on if we were dealing with with rural communities or communities that are heavily populated of white people. Government would come in. Government would send in the resources, the necessary resources to address and sustain. Reverend Holley, as we spoke about before, when something appears on the most endangered species list, the first thing that happens, Reverend Holley, government issues a mandate. Government says that that particular species is protected, which means if you take the life of that most endangered species, you have all types of penalties that you're going to have to face. Reverend Holley, black life needs to be number 1 on the most endangered species list, and everything in government should come to our aid. Thank you, sir, for taking my call.
Call you in touch right quick. How are you? You in touch. How are you? Good morning. How are you?
Am I on?
Yes.
Oh, I just quickly want to say that your listeners need to listen to Dr. Boyce Watkins' channel because they give out a lot of facts that's going on. And many of our black people, whether it is the president or the congressman or whoever they are, they're no more than fronts for wealthy white people. We're living in a modern-day slave. We are modern-day slaves living in a modern-day plantation. Right. And there's so much data and facts that will prove that. And not to put anybody down, it's just it is what it is. Thank you for
call you in touch. How are you? Your last call. How are you?
Yes, real quickly, Reverend. The sister that was killed in Pontiac, and said her body was thrown into the streets, and all the deaths in Chicago, they all have a connection. I know it sounds bizarre, but a lot of the perpetrators of these crimes are not black people. They're white people from the outside. And one question for you. If money is the root of all evil, why do churches ask for it every Sunday?
Right.
All respect.
All right. That's it for me. Thank you so much. You've been very kind with your calls. You're always that way with me, and thank you for putting up with me. I know I've been kind of rough today, and I apologize to you. Maybe give me a cup of coffee, I'll feel a lot better. Thank you so much, and hope that you have a wonderful weekend. Stay dry.
The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of W33BY, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.